Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi here, Star Wars, The Old Republic. When is it okay to make friends? Well, let me get on Star Wars Old Republic first. You last saw me, I'm still on Hutta, and I'm continuing on with the missions and leveling, and I'm leveling great, but I'm not moving the storyline. So one thing's in MMORPGs, you have the main storyline, and then you have side quests. And so there's a balance between exploring the world, side quests, and advancing the main story, because advancing the main story helps you get some of the mechanics you need further in the game. In a game like World of Warcraft, you could just do side quests all day, and the main quests are really in the later expansions where they really drive you through the expansion. You get to learn everything, get skills, you get armor and everything like that. Story like the Division 2, you're gotta level to level 40, but they make you do some quests so you can eventually meet the boss. Destiny 2, the same thing. Star Wars The Old Republic, your story arc is going to go over planets and planets, and it's going to be, it's the right amount. It's, again, the storytelling is great. And what's fantastic is there's 8 of them. So it's a worthwhile game. I'm doing a lot of side quests, that's why my level's higher, but it's a good game to do even your main quest, and eventually probably have to do side quests so you keep the right balance. I'm not going to show you a lot of the quests because, again, I think that there's some value in running the quest, so I might do the starter quest.
That's it. He seems jumpy.
So, when you go to a new job, are you the person that spills your guts on the first day, tells everyone about what you are, how many kids, how many divorces, marriages, you know, everything the first day? Do you remain aloof? Are you shy? Are you an extrovert? What's your strategy? You might not believe this, but I'm inherently a shy person. So, I mean, I'm not talking to anyone, right? I'm talking to my iPhone while I'm watching a video.
How did you find me so quickly?
It's different when you meet somebody. So what do? I don't know what the right answer is, so I'm not going to give you what I do, because I don't think there's a right answer. It's just a question for you to think about. I'll tell you an anecdote what happened to me recently. So I started the channel back in November, and I got some people that watched some of the videos and commented and shared things. And that went on, and that went further, and I didn't think anything of it. And I was always disappointed in the Division, because when I'd find out that they'd say that I played on PlayStation or I played on the Xbox or I did, you know, I was like, oh, dang. And in the beginning of the channel, there was a lot of people that maybe English was their second language, so I was really appreciative of them coming in, and they were really, it seems like I run into a lot of Brazilian players on the Division 2, so I was happy about that. So eventually, these people that were in the comments, we figured out a way to play. We picked a kind of second game called Destiny 2, and that's the reason if you see videos on Destiny 2, really that's a platform that I can engage with all of you on, because no matter what, if you have a PlayStation or an Xbox or a PC, we can all play on it. And there's a little bit of a learning curve, but let's say I've been playing it, I don't know, you can tell how long I've been playing it. Maybe it's 3 weeks, and I'm pretty comfortable in the game now. I still suck, so I'm never going to get past that, but it's pretty good. And one of the big points in Star Wars Old Galaxy, holy macro, Star Wars The Old Republic is you have a companion that ends up maybe being your friend. In some cases, you could have amorous links with them. It's all how you interact with them and talk to them about their stories. And you can get a lot of them. There's a lot of depth and breadth to this game. Another game I'd like to play, but it's a monthly fee, so that's what stops me, is Final Fantasy 14. Okay, so let's say if you had to put them in a row. Right now, everyone says Final Fantasy 14 is the best of the MMORPGs. Then it'd go like WoW. Then you might get Elder Scrolls Online. And then. If you like Elder Scrolls, then you're going to like Elder Scrolls Online, because it's a very similar game and the lore is the same. So that's if you like Elder Scrolls, then you're going to like that game.
People, I know that. Cray sent you, didn't he?
WoW is your traditional. It's not a desktop D&D type game, but it's based on that universe. So that's kind of the 800-pound gorilla in the room. And then there's Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14 is a great game.
Use it to free the others.
What it does, though,
People got caught in the wrong place at the wrong
in
time.
World of Warcraft, you can
Bothers
play. You
will
don't
lead
ever
to
have to do a dungeon, and you can
They're
level all the
strong
way
enough
up.
to make a run for
Same thing with
They
Elder
just
Scrolls.
need their slave collars deactivated first.
Final Fantasy 14 will force you to get into groups. And it's a traditional MMORPG in that they need healers.
We've been keeping each other alive in here.
So let's say in the Division 2 and Destiny, there's no real healing class. You can play it like that. I'm sorry if I'm offending you people that heal, but it's not like a traditional
Once you've deactivated their
tank
collars,
DPS healer. Final Fantasy is, and so I enjoy playing White Mage because when I'm playing solo, I can heal myself, I never die, and I can do some damage. But when I had to level, when I had to go in those instances, I had to go in as a healer and talk about, you know when you're the person that's causing, when you're a healer. You want to blame the tank, and okay. When you're a healer, this is the number one problem in the group, is the fucking DPS. If they would just do what they're supposed to, if they'd stay over there, not pull aggro, I could just heal the tank, right? Probably from the tank's perspective, it's like the fucking DPS. If they would just fucking not wait for me to get the aggro, it'd be fine. And the DPS are like, the fucking DPS, if he would just let me get my shot off, then I could, it's hard. The majority of people in games, in groups, normally in a 5-man group, 3 of the people are DPS, so it's the majority of players. But you need a tank and a healer to take you through that stuff. So in modern games, you don't really have that much. And so I would always, if you're a healer, you're always going to have people that are friendly with you, because when you go in those instances and you're a halfway decent healer, if they can count on you to heal, you'll always be in groups or invited to guilds, what have you. And so why am I friendly with Sloth and Ultimate Shield? I don't know. They were the vibe was right. We're different enough, but we're the same because we're playing the same game. So there's automatic some things that we like together, but they're different enough from me that it just vibes really good. I'm probably at a stage in my life where I don't need to be the front man. That's okay for me not to be the front man. And I'm more of the person, if there's a vacuum, I'm going to fill it. And that's probably what happened to me in the Coast Guard is I just saw how
by the time Bothra's guards figure out what's happened, I'll run ahead and report to
the
Cray.
management. I had never been in management. I was a punk-ass college kid that quit college because I was a philosophy major, and I knew how the world was going to be. And so when the first ship I went to, I did great in boot camp, did really great in boot camp, got to pick where I wanted to go. I picked a patrol boat down in Puerto Rico at Rosie Roads, and I went there. And for whatever reason, they let us, normally those ships would have 4 seamen, we had 5 seamen. And Steve Payne, Roger, forget his last name, Donnie, forget his last name, and Doc from Maine. And I was the bottom rung. I was the youngest Donnie was the youngest, but he was more senior to me. So I was just the junior person on the ship. Being the junior person on the ship sucks. Being the junior person when you think you know better really sucks. So, but I had to eat it. That's the one thing that's great about the military. You got to learn how to follow. And I don't think that lesson ever goes away. I was lucky enough to be a vice president at a company. And it was a small family. It wasn't small. It was an international family-owned company. And I got to work with the daughter and son of the original owner. I never met the original owner, but I met his children who ran the company. And I was really stoked that I could do that. And I matriculated up in that company. And I was really happy. It was a really great place to work. Had its own challenges, but I had to follow on that point. They were in Germany, sometimes in the U.S., so I had to handle things in the U.S. at times. And there was a time when really I was the de facto president of the company for like a year. And it was nothing. I had been an officer in charge in Coast Guard, so it's like, okay, finally. But I had to follow them. You're always going to have to follow someone. You can't always lead in your family. If you have a wife, sometimes you're going to have to let your wife lead or your spouse lead.
Nice.
Can't always be your way. We talked about that. It's not always a crisis. We'll wait till we have enough money. We'll wait. Now it sounds like an excuse. Why can't I lead? And that's what you're going to do with your children, I think. You got to let them discover and be themselves. And
I don't see why not.
part of it is when I think back about it now and I think about my kids and I think about me, maybe you have the things your parents instilled in you, good or bad, and you fight to either accept those or reject those until you can decide to do it. I don't have these ideas force-fed to me. I have tested it. So when you come back to a game like the Division II or a game like this and you're hearing someone give you a build suggestion or something, do you go out and try it? Do you just take it on blind faith? And that's pretty good. If you listen to some psychologists, they say that, it's good that we're more trusting than cynical. And as you get older, you're going to get more cynical because you have more examples of when things didn't turn out. And whatever it is about humans, we accentuate the negative and downplay the positive. You don't think about the 98 times it went good. You think about the one time it went bad. Yeah, I ran out of gas at one time, and that's going to color how I do it. Project managers have this problem because that's built in when they're doing scheduling and everything. Well, there is that one time. So they automatically, inherently start padding the project to build in, buffer. And that's horrible. Because that's why projects go over time and over budget, right? Because you're just padding everything. You might say, well, things go wrong. Yeah, things go wrong, but you have to anticipate it. I mean, that's the motto in the Coast Guard was Semper Paratus, which means always ready. So that was an excuse you could never say in the Coast Guard, because that's your stupid motto, always ready. So you can't say, I didn't anticipate it'd be stormy out here, so we didn't bring our rain jackets. You just have all that shit all the time. So when you make friends, well, you make friends when it's time to make friends. Are you open enough? Maybe you don't make friends all the time because you're just not ready to, because you're not open, because maybe you have something that went on that you're just in that stage. Maybe you don't have room for another person. I didn't have time. When I was married and going to work with a career and had my kids, I didn't have time to have friends on the outside or do anything like that. I needed to provide for my family, and I had a lucky situation with my wife there where we kind of just fundamentally agreed how we should raise a family, and we did that. We both had our roles and we both did it. So when is it time to put something new into your life? I don't know. But I will tell you this. There's never a good time. There's never a good time to make friends. When the opportunity comes, you have to seize it. Now, I'm not saying the opportunity never comes again, but if eventually you turn down all these things, you're going to get in a pattern where it's going to be pretty improbable. Are you someone in your 40s that's interested in doing new things? Are you always trying to do things? That's great. Or are you a person that can't be still? You can't be still alone with yourself? So you always got to be doing things, not because they're meaningful, but just so you don't have to sit in your house by yourself and look at yourself and be with yourself. There's a balance in everything. So making friends is one of those benchmarks you can do. Do I make new friends? Am I friendly with people? Do I have acquaintances? There's a woman I ran into. I was working after hours. She pulled me aside, said her father was interested, and he's a veteran, 95 or whatever, wanted to learn about benefits. And I work in an office that for years I've been there, but she sought me out. And she came in the office day and sought me out. Hey, can you give me that information? And I did it. She didn't go to the people that are supposed to do that for her. She came to me. Why is that? Because maybe I was a friendly face. Maybe for her, I was accessible. And so when you get these opportunities to make new friends or see different perspectives or try things new, I'd say from someone on the wrong side of the hill, but the runways, I'm running out of runway in my life, right? From my perspective, I'd say you should go ahead and try that. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, unsubscribing, subscribing again. You guys make the channel worthwhile. Got some good content coming up. Hope you enjoy this. This is Ronan Kazi signing off. Make some friends.